haven't joined me before, I'm glad to see you're here with me. Chair yoga is one of the most gentle forms of yoga that we could participate in. It is pretty much available to anyone, and often we find ourselves in this position seated in our chair. Maybe some of you, like I am, finding myself seated a lot more recently than I'm really quite used to. So it's good to know that we can, in this position, still find ways to move our bodies, because that's really essential. I did a class one time and it was entitled Welcome to Being a Body. And that's the truth, right? Our whole life, not just our physical life, but our emotional, our spiritual life is lived in and through our bodies, right? So sometimes the experience of other things can be impacted by how we're physically feeling. So if I have a physical challenge, and maybe that's just from being seated too long, if I have a physical challenge, then it can manifest itself in me emotionally or spiritually. Literally, the way I feel about a situation can be dictated by a physical experience. And the truth is that is the same in reverse. So if I'm struggling, if I'm anxious, if I'm worried, if I'm concerned, and those emotions lead me downward as opposed to upward, then those emotions and the way I feel in my internal self, my spirit, can then manifest themselves in a physical expression or a physical ailment. So literally, what we think about can indeed make us unwell. So a chair provides us with an opportunity to be a little bit more mobile, to pay attention to how our physical body is feeling in this moment. So let's use the advantage we have, finding ourselves perhaps a little bit more sedentary. Having said all of that, I'm going to invite you now into a seated position, finding your way into your chair, whatever that chair is for you this morning. And I want you to just start to be mindful of that experience. Our yoga practice really brings us in touch with what's occurring in the moment. As we focus literally on this experience right now, we attempt to let go of everything that was for us before we were here in this moment, and we attempt to let go of everything that awaits us when we finish our practice together. So for this 45 minutes, let's just try to be focused and intentional and aware of the experience as it unfolds for each of us, breath by breath and moment by moment. So if you're like me and your legs are not overly long, having something to elevate your feet a little bit when we start in this first position might be helpful. So I just have a blanket, but you could use a book, or you could use a low stool, anything, so that your knees are bent at about 90 degrees. We try to avoid letting the knee drop below the hip, because that puts tension on our quads. So we're going to try to find a way to be as relaxed as possible in this position. So let's just set up. Let's wiggle our sit bones all the way back to the back of our chair, but trying not to rest back or lean back in the chair. See if you can bring your shoulders on top of your hips, or consider bringing your heart on top of your hips. And then let's take a moment to lift our shoulders up, relax those shoulder blades down our back, find a little extra length in our spine, soften our chin, and take a moment just to kind of assess this position in our body. So we look for a comfortable seated position where there's not muscular tension to hold us here. We want our skeletal system to hold us erect, upright. And the experience in our body hopefully is one that is alert and energetic, but not rigid. So not holding in such a way that there's extra tension or tightness, but arriving in a place where the seat is easy and we can be comfortable. So when you find that and you're situated, I will invite you to close your eyes. We'll take a little bit of time really to check in with our bodies, check in with our breathing, check in with our focus and attention this morning. The name I've given this particular class is ebb and flow. And I think for many of us, that's a real experience right now. Our emotions are kind of ebbing and flowing. Sometimes things are good and we can see our way clearly through this current situation. And other times we're stuck in that more concerned, worried, anxious state. And it changes moment by moment. And it changes day by day. So I'll invite you to focusing on ebb and flow. Just having our eyes softly closed. If that's uncomfortable, just letting your gaze soften. And I want you just to become aware of your breathing. Breath is a powerful tool to move us through moments of challenge and stress and anxiety. So tap into the power of your breath this morning. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose and then exhale and release the air. And just keep that cycle going. A deep inhale and a full and complete exhale at your own pace and in your own way. And as we're in this seated position, your hands can just rest lightly on your knees or your thighs. Your shoulders are away from your ear, your spine is long, your chest is slightly open. And that breath is starting to get a little bit smoother, a little bit more steady, a little bit more focused. So this being human is a guest house, and each morning there's a new arrival. So I want us to be aware of who we are, as we are, where we are right now in this moment. Let's just start by becoming aware of our breathing. Consider relaxing your upper chest. Relax your shoulders. Relax the muscles around your neck. Let your belly be soft as it rises and falls. Allow yourself to breathe without effort and without struggle. So there's no forcing, there's no making that extension longer than is available. There's a simple awareness of the breath. And as you breathe, take just a moment to be grateful for the gift of your breath. Now, still with our eyes closed, let's notice our breath. Notice if we entirely finish the exhale before we begin the next inhale. Pausing in that awareness of your breath. We're keeping the breath soft. You can take a moment to visualize a candle flame in front of your nose. And the breath is so soft that the flame is not disturbed. Now take your attention to the 4 parts of your breath. Notice the inhalation and then the pause between the inhalation and the exhalation. And then notice the exhalation and the pause at the end of the exhalation before you begin the next inhalation. Are you allowing yourself to be present to each stage of your breath? Inhaling, pausing, exhaling, pausing, and then inhaling again. Let that inhale arise on its own, again without forcing and without judging the experience. And then just let your breath return to its normal rhythm, its natural pace. Take a moment to slowly open your eyes. Hello. Awesome. So I hope you found even that few moments of just being a little bit more aware of your breathing helpful. breath awareness is huge to help us move through, as I said earlier, challenge, stress, anxiety, worry. It shifts us from our sympathetic nervous system into our parasympathetic nervous system. So let's continue to be mindful of our breathing as we move through our practice together today. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get rid of my blanket. I'm going to just set it off to the side. I might want it again at the end of my practice. And come back to a seated position on our chair. Let's slide our sit bones a little bit closer to the edge of our seat and bring the soles of our feet firmly onto the floor. Again, keeping that nice position in our body, our heart over our hips, our head over our heart. Together, let's lift those shoulders up and then release those shoulders down the back. And let's take a few more moments to do that together. So inhale, lifting up. Exhale, releasing back and down. Some nice big shoulder rolls. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, back and down. Good, a couple more like that. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, back and down. One more time. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, back and down. Beautiful. Let's switch that and come forward. So inhale, lift up, and exhale, let's round out that spine coming forward. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, rounding, coming forward. Two more. Inhale and exhale. Let that body move with the breath. Inhale and exhale. Beautiful job. And then sit up nice and tall. Shoulders up, back and down. Spine is long, neck is nice and loose and relaxed. And from here, we're going to move that neck just a little bit. So finding a nice tall spine, softening the shoulders, tucking that tummy in. We're going to just drop our head over to the right. So just a gentle stretch for the left side of the neck. If you want a little bit more, take your ring finger and just set it on your temple. So again, we try not to force the stretch. We just add a little bit of weight to encourage maybe a little deeper stretch. Again, we're still breathing that nice, smooth, steady breath. And let's go ahead and release our hand. And then just shift your gaze so you're looking at that right armpit. Notice the change in that stretch. Again, this left shoulder is softening. The side of the neck is stretching. The back of the neck is stretching as you come into this slight rotation. From here, I want you to think about the chin. And now bring your chin and just draw a line to the middle of your chest. And then draw a line back so that you're looking at that armpit. And just move a couple more times like that to the center and back. To the center and back. And to the center and back. Beautiful. And looking and softening both shoulders. Letting that gaze look down towards that armpit. Keeping the chin tucking to the chest, slowly roll over. So now that left ear hovers over that left shoulder. Again, both shoulders softening and relaxing. You might add that little extra weight with the ring finger resting on your left temple. Again, you're not trying to pull or push that neck into position. You just want to add a little bit of weight. We're going to release. We're going to shift the gaze. Chin coming slightly towards the chest, and we're looking at that left armpit. I have a very itchy nose. I'm not sure what that means. Good, nice deep breathing. And let's begin to draw that line with our chin. So chin moving to the center line of our body, chin sliding towards that armpit. And just back and forth, nice and slow. Maybe a couple more times like that. I don't know about you guys, but I'm holding a lot of tension in my neck, my shoulders, my upper back. Good, that's where I hold stress and tension in my body. Good, gazing towards that armpit. Beautiful. And then tucking that chin and slowly rolling all the way back to the right. Lifting the gaze, come all the way back to center. Again, lift those shoulders up, back, and down, and tuck the chin to the chest and stretch the back of the neck. You can take your hand and rest it lightly on the back of the head and just stay for a couple of breaths here. Let the body relax. Let the body stretch. Let the body find its way. Very nice. And and release. And then very, very mindfully lift the gaze. Now, you can consider lifting the gaze and looking back if it's okay for your neck. Be aware of how it feels, and if it doesn't feel good, come back to gazing forward in a more neutral position. So if it's all right, lift up, the gaze lifts up towards the ceiling, the throat opens, the head moves gently backwards as you soften your shoulders. Again, a couple of breaths here. And then very, very slowly bringing the gaze back to the horizon and relaxing. Good. And maybe just gently looking to the left, looking to center, looking to the right. See how that feels. Just a little bit of gentle movement, kind of like that shoulder checking motion. Good. Just finding where your range of motion is this morning, moving attentively and mindfully. And all the way back, and all the way back to center. Awesome. So let's move through cat and cow, which is an awesome experience for our spine. So hands are resting lightly on the thighs. And again, we have our sit bones fairly close to the edge of our seat. Lift those shoulders up, back, and down. And on your inhale, slide your hands to your hips, open your chest, lift your gaze, draw your shoulder blades behind you on your back. And on your exhale, slide your hands forward, round out your back and tuck your chin. Slide your hands to your hips, lift your gaze, looking up. Exhaling, tucking, rounding that spine. That should feel really good. Let's do that 2 more. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, tucking and rounding. Good, 1 more time. Inhale, lifting up, opening. And exhale, tucking and rounding. And on that exhale, just hold right here. So think about tucking the chin to the chest, lengthening the neck, rounding out that thoracic spine, the upper back. Good. And slowly come to seated. Very nice. Let's move this into a little bit of a twist. So we're going to take our right hand and find the frame of our chair. We're going to sit up tall. We're going to take our left hand to the outside of our thigh. We're going to lengthen the spine and inhale. And on our exhale, rotate. So think about your belly moving, then your ribs, your shoulders. Let your gaze be the last thing that moves. I wish you guys were here in the room with me. Maybe I wouldn't make so many errors. Lifting up, finding that nice rotation. Awesome. Sit up nice and tall again. On the exhale, come back to center. Let's switch to the other side. So left hand finds the frame of the chair. We soften and relax the shoulders. Take your right hand to the outside of the thigh. Inhale again, lengthen. Exhale, turn from your belly button. Then your ribs, your shoulders. Let the neck and head be the last to move. Rotation of the spine. Very nice. Good. Inhale, lift up. Exhale all the way back to center. We're going to do some more twisting, but we're going to add in a little bit of movement for the shoulders as well. So right hand's going to find the frame of the chair. Left hand's going to find the outside of that right thigh. Lengthen the spine, tall. Exhale, turn. From here, we don't want to go too deep into this twist. We're going to take that left hand, reach it up and reach it back, and let your gaze follow the fingers. Inhale and exhale. Good. 3 more times. Inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. Beautiful. 2 more. Inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. And 1 last time. Inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. Some of my favorite movements for my shoulder. Again, find all of the length in your spine. Relax your shoulders. As you exhale, rotate back to center. Awesome. We're going to do that other side now. Left hand finds the frame of the chair. Right hand finds the outside of the thigh. We lengthen the spine, and on our exhale, we turn. Softening, relaxing the shoulders. Not forcing the twist, just arriving where we can move from this point. All right, together. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, reach back. Inhale, up. And exhale, down. 3 more. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. 2 more. Inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale. Last time. Inhale and exhale and inhale and exhale. Very nice. Again, lengthen the spine before you move. Exhale as you return to center. Awesome. Okay, what do I want to do now? I would love to do some sun salutations. Sun salutations help us to incorporate our breath with our movement. They move in a seated position. They move us through a lot of our upper body range of motion. So let's do some of that. And then we're going to come to some standing postures. We're going to land back in our chair for some seated stretches with our strap. And then we're going to have a lovely cool down and meditation at the end. So sun salutations, again, making sure that we have good positioning on our chair, wiggling our sit bones a little bit closer to the seat, planting those feet, having that extension from our hips to our knees, and from our knees to our ankles. Lift the shoulders up, release those shoulders down the back. Let your heart settle over your hips and your head over your heart. Steady your breath. Good, and now we're going to breathe together. So we're going to inhale and sweep our hands up. And on our exhale, we're going to find cactus arms. So we draw those shoulder blades together. We radiate energetically through our fingers. Good. Next, inhale, we hinge forward without rounding our back. And then we bring our hands to our thighs. And as we exhale, we tuck and we round, spilling our body forward, letting that head fall towards the floor. Slide your hands up your shins, nice flat back. Draw your shoulders away from your ears, looking forward. And on your exhale, forward fold. Good. Keep your right hand on your ankle. Take your left hand, reach it to the sky, inhaling. Exhaling, forward fold. Keep your left hand on your ankle. Inhale your right hand up. And exhale, forward fold. Slide your hands up your shins. Inhale, looking forward. Exhale, forward fold. Tucking your tummy in. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, hands to your heart. Very nice. So we're going to do that 3 more times. We'll move a slightly bit faster, but you move at your own pace and catch up to us wherever you are along the way. Okay, hands at heart center. Heart over our hips, head over our heart. Lift the shoulders up, roll the shoulders back and down. Steady the breath. Good. Together, inhale all the way up. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, hinge forward. Exhale, fold it out. Inhale, hands on the shins, looking forward. Exhale, forward fold. Keep your right hand where it is. Inhale, left hand reaches. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, right hand reaches. Exhale, forward fold. Slide the hands up the shins. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, forward fold. Tuck your tummy and inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Beautiful. 3 more times together. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And inhale, look forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, right hand reaches. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, left hand reaches. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, hands on the shins. Exhale, forward fold. Tucking the tummy. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Beautiful. 2 more. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Fold it out. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Now left hand reaches. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Right hand reaches. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Hands on the shins. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Good. Last time. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Whoops, sorry. Exhale. Cactus arms. I'm ahead of myself. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Right arm reaches, inhale. Exhale, fold. Left arm reaches, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. And then inhale, rise up. And exhale, hands to your heart center. Awesome job. Sun salutations are energizing. They bring energy into your body. We do a little bit of back bending in there, and those are energetic postures. So I know that if you do nothing else, if you take nothing else away from our experience today, maybe you'll remember to breathe a little bit deeper. Maybe you'll remember to move with your breath through a sun salutation. That would be hugely beneficial. Awesome. So we're going to come to standing now. So before we're coming to standing, we have a tendency to get up off our chair and really not pay attention to what we're doing as we're doing that. I really want us to be focused on doing it in a way where we engage our core that helps to protect our low back. So we're using the appropriate muscles to stand, and we're not just mindlessly standing. Sometimes we can hurt ourselves in odd ways. Just sleeping, sometimes I've hurt myself. And that just comes from not paying full attention to what we're doing. So when we're coming to a standing position from our chair, first consider that you have to shift your weight from this position forward. So we're incorporating gravity. We're moving our center of gravity, literally. So have a firm foundation to come to. So your feet are about hip width distance apart. Your feet are firmly planted on the floor. We're going to slide right to the edge of our seat. We're going to tuck our tummy in. Maybe we're going to rest our hands on our thighs. First, we shift our weight forward and find that foundation, tucking the tummy in, and then press into your feet, and let's just hover here in a little chair pose. So in this position, before we come to standing, we're engaging our core muscles. We're engaging our abdominal muscles to protect our low back, and then use our legs to come to standing. Awesome. Lift those shoulders up, roll those shoulders back and down. Beautiful. Let's step over to the side of our chair. We're going to use our chair for support in our standing posture. So I'm coming over to the right side of my chair. So my left foot is nice and close to the right side of my chair. And I'm going to hold on to that chair just for a little extra support in my standing postures. Standing postures are a wonderful way to build leg strength, to build stamina and endurance through our yoga practice. So I'm going to step my left foot forward. It's going to stay fairly close to my chair and the toes are pointing forward. I'm going to take my right foot and step it back. Doesn't have to step really far back, maybe 3-ish feet, especially when we're standing or using a chair. We might not want to step as far back. But if you could see my foot is angled slightly at about 45 degrees. Now, my feet are like they're on railroad tracks. So my left foot is on one track and my right foot is on the other track so that my hips can be facing forward. So if you can imagine headlights on your hips, those headlights are both shining straight forward. In our Warrior One position, that's what we want. You could even wiggle your left foot out a little bit and your right foot out a little bit to increase your foundation. Good. So we always want to start with good position, shoulders up, back, and down. The core is engaged. We're stepping that left foot forward, and I'm still holding on to my chair. We're going to go ahead and bend into that front knee to about 90 degrees or greater, but we don't want the toes coming the knee coming right over top of the toes. From this position, if I just look down, I can still see my toes in front of my knees, okay? So that back leg is long. We're not locking the knee, but the leg is straight, and we're getting a little bit of a hip flexor stretch here. All right, so from here, let's sweep our arm up, soften and relax that shoulder, and sink the lower body down. So find your way into a bit of a stretch there. That front leg is strong and stable, and that back leg, we're stretching at the hip flexor. Good, so we're gonna use our breath to sustain this posture, inhaling and exhaling. Very nice. From here, we're going to straighten that front leg. We're going to reach our fingers forward and then reach our hand to the back of the room. So reach the fingers back, reach the crown of the head forward as you straighten that front leg. Awesome. On your next inhale, you're going to bring that hand forward and up, and at the same time, you're bending that left knee. Now on the exhale, let's take that arm out to the side, cactus arm, to open that chest. Beautiful job. So take that arm up to the ceiling, straighten that front leg again, reach forward and sweep the fingers to the back of the room, and think about reaching the fingers back and reaching the crown of your head forward. Awesome. Breathing. And then again, bend that front knee, bringing that right arm up and opening back up into Cactus Arms. Let's do that one more time. Reach up, and as we inhale, straighten that front leg, sweep that arm to the back of the room, radiating energetically through the crown of our head, back through our fingers. Beautiful job. And on that next breath, bending that front knee, reaching all the way up. Last time into that cactus arm. Good, and then bring your hand to your hip. Turn that back heel up to the ceiling, tuck your tummy in, and step that back foot forward. Awesome. So still at the right side of our chair, moving into a little bit of a balancing sequence. So in our balancing postures are really great for our core strength, and our core strength helps to protect our low back. And as we develop good core strength, it keeps us safe on uneven surfaces or on slippery surfaces. So it's really important to continue to strengthen our core muscles. So we're going to use that chair for support, and we're going to stand on our left foot. We're going to shift our weight there, picking that right foot up and bringing that knee out in front. So rest your hands on that right shin and think about taking that knee out to the side and just making some gentle circles. So we're balancing, but we're also working at bringing some synovial fluid, lubricating that right hip. So just some nice gentle circles. Whatever feels good. When I did this earlier, there was a lot of popping and cracking and snapping and oh my goodness gracious. Now it's a little bit more quiet. Must be the movement. Movement is medicine. Awesome. Okay, hold right here. Just hug that knee in towards the chest. Take a moment or two now to rotate your ankle. Circling one way, circling the other way. You can always place your hand under your thigh too if that works better for you. So listening to your own body. Awesome. And then maybe just give that leg a little bit of a shake. Come back to standing on both legs. Wiggle around a little bit because we're going to come back into a few more standing postures. All right, take a nice deep inhale and a full and complete exhale. Stand on that left foot and bring that right knee up. This time turning the knee out to the side and letting the sole of that foot rest on your inner calf. Or maybe your toes and the ball of your feet are right down on the floor and your heel is just at your ankle in your tree pose. So in our tree pose, we're stretching our inner thigh, we're opening that hip, increasing our range of motion in our in that external position for that right hip. Good. So wherever you can, find your way into balance. Again, now focusing on your breathing, inhaling and exhaling. We can take that right arm up again if we like, softening and relaxing the shoulders. Awesome. Beautiful job. Steadying the breath, steadies the pose. Very nice. And bringing that right hand back to your hip, turning that right knee forward and setting that foot back down on your mat. Very nice. All right, so I'm just going to turn my chair. You could just go and step behind your chair, but I'm going to turn it to the side so that you have a better idea of what I'm doing. And as we turn it to the side, before we transition to the other side, it's nice to kind of have a transitionary pose, which for me would be downward facing dog. So resting our hands on the back of our chair, first we'll stand nice and close to the chair, lift the shoulders up, back and down, making sure that we're still aware of those core muscles, using that chair for support. We're going to walk back until we create an upside down L shape with our body. So if you're looking at me, you can see there's a long line from my wrists to my hips, and then there's a line from my hips to my heels. And my hips are pretty much over top of my heels or my ankles. But I'm going to bend my knees a little bit. That helps to stretch our hamstrings that get really shortened and weakened because we're in a seated position so much. This gives a little stretch for those hamstrings. This also stretches and releases your back. So let your head just come down in between your biceps. Turn your gaze gently side to side. Find a nice deep breath. Good, and feel that stretch in the legs and the back. Lift the hips up, but really be anchored in your heels, and your knees are a little bit soft or more bent if you need them to be. So be mindful of how it feels in your own body. Take a nice deep inhale, and then exhale, open your mouth. Let all the air go, and that just relaxes the jaw a little bit. So inhale, we call it letting go breath. So inhale nice and deep. Open your mouth, exhale. Let it all go. One more time, nice deep inhale. And exhale, let it all go. Very nice. All right, lift your gaze to look at your hands. Soften your knees and slowly walk forward towards your chair. Beautiful. So I'm going to bring my chair back to face you, and now I'm going to step over to the left side of my chair, and we're going to go through that sequence now on the left side. So right hand is on the chair, right foot is forward, and left foot is back. Again, feet are like they're on railroad tracks, back foot is angled at about 45 degrees, and I've stepped my right foot a little bit forward. Now bending into that front knee, keeping the shoulders and the hips facing forward. Good, so nice and strong. Inhale up, and exhale, just sink that lower body a little bit. Good, so allow it to stretch. Bring the weight of your torso over top of your hips. Good, smooth, steady breath. Now we're going to straighten that front leg. We're going to begin to reach those fingers forward and then sweep them to the back of the room. We're going to reach with the fingers, reach forward with the crown of the head. Beautiful. On that next inhale, bending the front knee, reaching that left hand forward and up, and exhaling cactus arms. Good, reach up. Inhale, straighten the front leg, sweep that arm to the back, energetically reach forward and back. And then inhale, and exhale back to cactus arms. Good, one more time. Inhale, straighten that front leg, sweep that arm all the way to the back, exhaling. And then on that next inhale, all the way up, bending that front knee, exhale, cactus arms. Awesome. Bring that hand to the hip, turn that back heel up to the ceiling, keep that core engaged, bend the knee, and step forward. Maybe give everything a little bit of a shake. Awesome. All right, so tucking that tummy in, stacking your shoulders on top of your hips again, lengthening up through the crown of your head, standing on your right foot now, and picking that left knee up. Hand can rest on the shin or on the thigh. We're just going to begin to make those little circles off to the left side. So again, bringing some movement into that hip, working at lubricating that joint. Observing our breath as we flow through our postures this morning. This side is a little clunky. I think I only practiced on one side before I started the live video this morning. Awesome, let's hold here, hug that knee towards the chest, and rotate the ankle now. Sometimes we forget to pay attention to the little things like our ankles, our feet, maybe even our toes. Wiggle those toes a little bit. Awesome, set that down. Again, think about maybe just shifting a little bit, giving everything a little bit of a shake, checking things out, seeing how it's feeling. Excellent. Okay, so coming into that tree pose now. So again, making sure that those core muscles are engaged. We're lengthening up through the crown, softening and relaxing the shoulders, standing firmly on that right foot. Pick the left knee up, turn it out to the side, and let the sole of the foot land on the calf, or maybe slide it down till the ball of the foot rests on the floor. We still are opening, knee out to the side, hand can be on the hip, or if it feels all right, reaching that arm up. Good, and balancing. So just fix your gaze forward on a spot that's not moving. Steadying that breath will steady that pose. Beautiful. Balancing postures take focus and concentration. And not only are they good for our core strength, but they require core strength. Good. Slowly bringing that hand down, setting that foot down. We're going to walk and come to a seat back on our chair. Taking your time, settling back into your chair. Again, we want to try and keep our sit bones relatively close to the edge of our feet so that we can find a firm footing with our feet. If your legs are a little bit shorter, you know, using something to elevate your feet is absolutely appropriate. Let's go ahead and grab our strap now. Where's my strap? So we're going to do a little bit of stretching for our legs, a little bit of hamstring stretching, a little bit more hip opening. And then we're going to land, as I said, in whatever is our final relaxation posture for meditation. So take your strap, wrap it around the ball of your right foot, and make sure that that left foot is firmly planted on the floor. Now pick that leg up. You can always also place your hand under your thigh for extra support. I'm going to place both hands on my strap right now. I'm going to drop my shoulders, lengthen my spine. I'm going to gently draw my toes towards my shin to lengthen the calf and lengthen the hamstring. So lifting that leg up, radiating energetically through that heel to find a beautiful stretch in that hamstring. We're going to stay for a couple more breaths. Nice and deep inhale and exhale. Awesome. So keep your right hand on the strap, and I'm going to find the frame of my chair just for stability. And now I'm going to just move that leg off to the side. So again, we work with our external hip rotation here. Just taking that leg off to the side. My shoulders and my hips are facing forward, but my leg is extending out to the side. Reaching through the heel, drawing the toes towards the shin. Again, we're going to take a moment or two, a breath or two here. Slowly guiding that back to center. We're going to bring the heel down onto the floor, but that left knee is going to stay bent. Shoulders up, back, and down, cores engaged. I want you to just hinge forward. So you just kind of use that strap to allow your hands to come a little bit closer to that foot. Keep your neck nice and long. Again, you should feel this stretch in the calf and in the hamstring. Awesome. So stay here, couple more breaths. Slowly rising up. We're going to lift that foot. We're going to gently guide that ankle over to our left thigh. So if you don't have the range of motion in your hip, to get your ankle onto your left thigh, just take your left leg out away from your chair a little bit and just bring the ankle onto that left shin. You're still getting an external hip rotation even there, and this might be where you need to stay today. Always be mindful of your own body. So the strap just helps us to keep our upper body in good position so that we're not reaching down and rounding out that back. And we use that strap to kind of make our arms feel a little bit longer. You could bring your right hand onto your right inner thigh, and a little bit of gentle pressure, that's going to help to open the hip. If you're up here, which is also okay, you could bring your elbow onto your inner thigh. We call this our picture pose. Our picture pose? Portrait pose? Something like that. Anyways, the weight, literally my body weight is just kind of adding to that stretch. So we're going to hang out here just for a couple of breaths yet, because the hips, often our hips are tight, and tight hips affect our knees and our ankles, sometimes even our shoulders. Because they're in the same chain, they're in the same line. Slowly coming all the way up. We're going to release that. We're going to switch sides. Taking that strap, wrapping it around the left foot now. Try to get to the ball of the foot. And again, in my comments, I said, like, I have a yoga strap, but you could use a tie or a scarf or a belt. anything that adds a little length, right? Shoulders up, back, and down. Finding a firm foundation with our seat, lifting that left leg up now, gently drawing the toes towards the shins as we reach out through that heel to lengthen the back of the leg. Try not to lock the knee joint out, so keep softness in that leg. Think about firming up the muscles in your thigh, your quadricep. Good, so holding here, breathing. Awesome, now bring that left hand onto the strap, right hand finds the frame of the chair, and mindfully we take that leg out to the side while we keep our shoulders and our hips facing forward. Again, reaching, extending through that heel without locking that knee out. External hip rotation. Trying not to hurry through these last few postures. Bodies are a little bit longer, our bodies are a little bit warmer now, so sometimes we can hold these poses a little bit longer. Good, slowly guiding that back to center, bringing the heel down onto the floor, lengthening up, and then just walk your hands down your strap, guiding your heart towards your foot. Get that stretch in the calf and the hamstring. Stay for a few breaths. Good, and then slowly coming up, seated nice and tall. Again, we're going to think about that figure 4 hip opener stretch. You might just end up allowing that ankle to rest on the opposite ankle or shin, or maybe you can bring that foot all the way up, rest the foot or the ankle on the thigh, and find your way into that picture pose. Stay for a few breaths as the hips begin to open. Slowly releasing, and we're going to set that foot down. We're going to go ahead and get rid of that strap, and let's just do a little gentle cat and cow and one more spinal twist, and then we'll finish off with meditation. So hands resting lightly on the knees or the thighs, and as we inhale, slide the hands to the hips, lift the gaze, and as we exhale, tucking around the back. Inhale, lifting up. So think about Goldilocks as you move through these, especially these last few postures. Not full, not too much, just right. So listening to your own body as you gently bring movement connected to your breath this morning. One more time, inhaling and then exhaling. Good, seated nice and tall. Right hand on the frame, left hand on the thigh. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, just the most gentle turn you can find. Awesome. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, rotate back to center. Switching sides. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, one more gentle turn. Very nice. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, back to center. Excellent. So if you're going to stay seated in your chair, go ahead and slide your sit bones now back. Maybe bring that blanket or block or book underneath your feet again. Find a tall position for your spine, but not without holding any tension in the body. So maybe you relax a little bit more into the back of the chair, but try not to, or try to still find some length in the spine and the shoulders on top of the hips. Let your eyes softly close. And once again, I want you to bring your focus and your awareness back to your breathing. So we may have lost sight of our breathing along the way, but the breath, again, is such a powerful tool to help us find a less anxious state. So while we're here in this final posture, maybe just considering on each inhalation, drawing in a little bit more sense of peace, self-compassion. On your exhale, see if you can let go of worry, let go of the cares or concerns, and just breathe. Breathe in peace and stillness, and let go of worry and concern. Just keep that cycle going Breathing in a little bit more peace and compassion. Breathing out a little bit more worry and anxiety. This final posture of our practice is a surrendered posture. So I invite you to surrender to the postures, to the difficult ones, because they reflect life's struggles. The sweet postures reflect our joy. Surrender to the outcome of your actions. They are not in your control. Each day, each practice, simply do your best. Surrender to the actions of the universe, the marvel of nature, the things you never saw coming. Surrender to your present difficulties, the pain and the losses, and especially to the things that you tried so hard to control, but couldn't. Surrender to the definition of yourself, your judgment. They are just your way of limiting who you are. Have a deep and unwavering trust that right now you are where you are meant to be. Feel the whole universe working beautiful magic through you this day. So you can continue where you are with your eyes closed, or if you're ready, you can open your eyes. We'll finish our practice today with one big breath. Making sure that our heart is over our hips, our head is over our heart. Lift our shoulders up, relax those shoulder blades down the back. Take those arms out wide to the side. Inhale deeply. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Thank you for joining me this morning. The light in me honors and respects the light in each of you, and that means namaste.